and then we'll go over any questions that you guys have typed in tonight, or if you have any questions. And I'd like to turn it over to Bess McCoy from MSD.
Thanks, Steve. Like Steve mentioned, my name is Bess McCoy, and I'm a public affairs specialist with the Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District. Tonight, I'm here to make sure all the technology that we're using works, and then also to manage the live question and answer. So before we get started, just to give an overview of the technology that we're using, we are using Zoom, obviously. We would love to be in person, but with the current conditions, this is the best way for us to continue the engagement that we depend on and that you all are looking for. As you can tell, you are in listen and view mode. And basically what that means is you can see and hear us, but we can't see or hear you. Now, with that in mind, we do still want your participation in this meeting. And the best way to do that is through the Q&A feature. So it looks like we have a couple folks here joining us on computers or smartphones. If that's the case, you can find Q&A by either wiggling your mouse or tapping on the screen, and you'll see a menu bar pop up. And one of the items says Q&A. And if you click on that, that's where you can type in questions at any time throughout the meeting. Now, we won't be answering those questions until the end of the meeting, but like I said, you can type those in at any time. We do have a couple of ground rules for those questions. The first being that if you have questions that are about a specific property, we won't answer those during the live Q&A section. Instead, I will make sure that someone from our project team follows up with you after the meeting in the next couple of business days, and we can answer those questions one-on-one. Similarly, if you have questions about other MSD services, about billing, or anything not specifically related to this project, again, we won't be answering those questions during the live Q&A. Instead, I will put you in touch with the best person at MSD to make sure you get those questions answered, and they'll follow up with you again in the next few business days. Finally, I do want to point out that with those questions, everyone on this call can see them, and you can also interact with them. So if you see a question that you also want answered, you can give it an up vote or hit that thumbs up. And that just lets us know that multiple people on this call are interested in having that question answered and helps us better prioritize those. So with that, I will go ahead and turn it back over to Steve.
And I will turn it right back over to Emma.
Thanks, Steve. I'm just going to give a little overview of what we do here at MSD Project Clear and who we are. We are a government utility, and we provide both wastewater and stormwater service. We provide that for all of St. Louis City and about 90% of St. Louis County. That includes about 1.3 million customers. And the most important thing to note is that we are two utilities in one. So that encompasses both the wastewater and the stormwater side of things. Funding for both of those sides are different, come from different buckets. So any money that's spent for a wastewater project can't be spent for a stormwater project and vice versa. So the wastewater all includes any water that comes from a resident or a commercial business, toilets, sinks, washing machines, any number of things. And then it is collected in our wastewater sewers or our combined sewers and sent to one of our 7 treatment plants where it is treated and then released. And this project is going to be a wastewater project. So with that background on MSD overall, I'm going to turn it back over to Steve, and he's going to give you some specifics on this project.
Thanks, Emma. So right here is a slide that has our contact information. So Emma's contact information is there, and my contact information is there. And please feel free to reach out to either one of us. We'll have this information at the end of the presentation also, so you don't have to write it down right this second, but it is there. And please, like I said, in the future, if you have questions, you can get on the website and type it in, or you can give us a call and we'll try and answer those questions. So before I get started talking about the Harlem Baden project specifically, I wanted to give a little information about some definitions we'll be using during this presentation. So a storm sewer, what is a storm sewer? So a storm sewer is a separate pipe in the ground that carries the storm water runoff from the rain, and it goes and discharges into other sewers and eventually into a river or a stream or a creek. So that is a storm sewer. A wastewater sewer is a separate pipe that carries wastewater. So anything coming from your toilets, your sinks, your bathrooms, from residences and businesses and industries go to a wastewater sewer and eventually goes to one of the 7 treatment facilities that Emma talked about, where it gets treated and then released into a river or a waterway. A combined sewer is what in the city of St. Louis and in the municipalities just right on the edges of the city of St. Louis, we have combined sewers. And those are sewers that are one pipe which carries both stormwater and wastewater. So 300 years ago, when the city of St. Louis started, they thought it was a good idea to put one sewer in the ground, and that was the combined sewer. And that's what we have in some of these areas in the village of Hillsdale. We have combined sewers. So the project is a soft separation project. And soft separation, what that means is you remove the stormwater from that combined sewer and you put it in its own separate storm sewer. And then that storm sewer carries that stormwater downstream and it's out of the combined sewer. So you have a separate storm sewer. And that's what this project is. It's a soft separation project.
So I can go through a little bit of the project overview now. The origin of this project is that the area currently uses a combined sewer, just like Steve was saying. So all of the water from the wastewater and the stormwater goes into the same sewer. At the time, whenever this project was designed, which was between 1900 and 1915, there was enough capacity in the combined sewer to handle all the wastewater that was going to it. However, now the amount of the amount of pavement and development in the area has increased enough to where there is not enough space in the sewer to handle both wastewater and stormwater runoff. We also have higher level of service requirements now than we did back then. So at the time of the preliminary study, which was done in 2011, there were 59 complaints in the area of the project. And I can show you a map of the project area and all of the complaints. So as you can see, the purple dots represent water backups. The green dots represent manholes overflowing, and the orange dots are flooded streets. And the highlighted green area is the area of our project. So within there, you can see there have been a number of basement backups, and a lot of that can be attributed to the undersized sewer, combined sewer in the area. The goal of the project is to soft separate this sewer, so the stormwater drainage will be directed to its own new storm sewer, and the existing sewer will only be used for wastewater. This should help reduce basement backups and prevent street flooding. The scope of the project is about 8,000 feet of 12-inch to 48-inch new storm sewer. And also it will include the construction of about 55 new curb inlets, which will collect the stormwater from the road and the yards and put it into the storm sewer. And the benefits of this project will that there will be new storm sewers. They should be able to help alleviate basement backups and street flooding and really improve the level of service in that area. Now I think Steve is going to talk a little bit about the project location and some construction details.
So again, this is the historical complaints map that Emma just mentioned. I don't have a whole lot more to say about that, but the project limits is what I wanted to talk about. So this project on the west side is Lucas and Hunt. is bounded by Lucas and Hunt on the west, St. Louis Avenue on the south, Keeneland Avenue on the east, and basically Greer Avenue on the north. So that project, that limits is the project area for this Harlem Baden Relief Project. We also refer to it as Package 5. So the project would start out down here by Jesse's Automotive, if everybody knows where that is, and work upstream along St. Louis Avenue and then on the side streets along St. Louis Avenue. So one of the things you want to know is how this is going to be built. And this is going to be built with open cut installation methods. So that means that the contractor is going to be digging a trench in the street, or in some cases, some yards, but mostly it's in the street, and putting a pipe in the ground, backfilling and compacting, and then restoring the pavement to a like new condition. Some of the equipment that you can anticipate that's going to be used are a backhoe or track hoe for excavation, dump trucks, concrete trucks, pavement breakers. So there is going to be some concrete pavement that will have to be broken up during this construction project. This is a large construction project. So what else can you expect as a resident? So the majority of this project, like I said, will be built in the public right of way in the street. However, in some instances, we will need to get on private property and need to get an easement. So an easement is a legal permission to access and perform work on somebody's property. Most of the easements that we need for this project are temporary easements where we just need a little extra room to install the sewer pipe. So MSD is about to begin that process in contacting the private property residents in order to get those easements. So that will be started soon if they haven't started already. You can anticipate some road closures and some impact to traffic. Like I said, this is mainly constructed in the street, so temporary road closures may be necessary. So this is going down St. Louis Avenue. It's the one side of St. Louis Avenue, and we'll try and keep one lane open at a time. And then most of the side streets have some construction along the way as you go, up the street, up St. Louis Avenue. The contractor will maintain access for emergency vehicles and metro buses. So like I said, it was one lane of traffic will be maintained to allow residents to come and go and access your houses. Construction noise, since this is a large construction project, you should expect construction noise during normal business hours. That could include pavement breaking and any kind of large construction equipment and just about any kind of sound that you've heard on a construction site. That's what you'll be experiencing. So here's just a small project that the district undertook a while ago. And it's just an example of what you can expect. So we have a picture of a before condition, a picture of during construction, and you can see they have construction fencing on both sides of the trench. They are blocking off some driveways, but people do have access to get to their house. And then after condition, again, it's better than it was before. It's at least as good as it was before. The pavement, the grass, and everything else will be restored to a like new condition. So I wanted to go through the tentative construction schedule. And I wanted to stress that these are tentative dates and durations and definitely subject to change. So we're wrapping up the design completion, which is the design. We're wrapping that up this fall of 2020. And MSD will be contacting property owners between now and the fall of 2021 to acquire the easements that are required. The estimated construction start is the summer of 2022. And we're estimating right now the project taking 19 months to construct. So before construction starts, the contractor will be having another meeting similar to this one. And hopefully, like I said, maybe that'll be in person. So right now I'm going to turn it over to Emma. She's going to discuss some frequently asked questions.
Yeah, I'll go over some frequently asked questions. You can also, after this meeting, go on to our website for this project, and the frequently asked questions will continually be updated if any new ones are coming in. So if there's a question that a lot of different people have, you may be able to find your answer on the website, but these are just the main ones. First and foremost, why is MSD doing this project? Like we mentioned, it should help alleviate basement backups and street flooding. Will residents have access issues to their property? Some residents may have access issues during normal business hours. You could kind of see how that could happen based on the pictures that Steve was showing earlier. But access should be returned at the end of each workday. The contractor will coordinate this with the affected property owners. Will residents' utilities such as water, power, or sewer be unavailable at any time during the project? There won't be any widespread utility outages for this project, but some residents may be asked not to use water or flush their toilet while work is being done to reconnect a sewer lateral. Again, that'll be coordinated with the contractor, and they should really expect that lag in service to only be about 4 to 6 hours. And lastly, how much noise can residents expect to hear? Again, Steve mentioned this is a major construction project, so there will be pavement breaking, there might be jackhammering, so they should expect within work hours to hear the sounds that you would hear with heavy construction. And with that, I think we're going to send it back to Bess, and she's going to talk about the Q&A portion of the project.
Thanks, Emma. Yeah, so that concludes at least the formal part of this presentation. And now we'll start the live question and answer. Now, I think we had a couple of folks join the meeting a little bit late. So in case you missed the explanation about that, if you would like to submit a question and you are on a computer or a smartphone, you can do so by either wiggling your mouse or tapping on your screen, and you should see a menu bar pop up. And one of the items in that menu bar is Q&A. So if you open that up, you can type in your questions there. Now, we did have a couple of ground rules for those questions. You're welcome to ask anything, but as far as what we're going to answer live, if you have questions that are not related to this project, instead of answering those live, I'll put you in touch with the best person at MSD to answer those questions for you and make sure that they follow up with you in the next few business days. And then similarly, if you have questions about your specific property, again, you're more than welcome to submit those, but instead of answering those live, we'll make sure that Emma, Steve, or someone from the project team follows up with you in the next few days to have that one-on-one conversation with you about your property. So I'm not seeing any questions right now in the Q&A, but we can give it a minute in case any of the folks on the line have questions. You can type those in right now. While we wait though, just a quick reminder, like Emma said, we do have a project page for this project that we'll be keeping up to date through the duration of the design phase that we're in right now, but also as we move into construction. And the URL is down there at the bottom, MSD Project Clear. It's actually .org, msdprojectclear.org /Harlem Baden 4. You can go to that at any time. We'll update that with frequently asked questions as they come in. If Emma or Steve or anyone else at MSD gets questions about this project, we'll put those there so you can find them. We're also recording this meeting tonight, and the recording of this meeting will be posted on that web page in the next couple of business days. And then, if you have questions that you don't want to submit right now, but you want someone to follow up with you, Emma is the project manager. Her contact information is on the page here and also on that web page, msdprojectclear.org/Harlem Baden 4. Similarly, Stephen is our design consultant, and his contact information is on here as well as on that project page. All right, looks like Gabriella has a question. She's wondering, how will property owners hear about potential utility outages or reduced access to their property during construction? And this might be, I'm not sure if you know the answer. This might be a question. I know we have Andy, who is the project manager for the construction phase, on the line too. He might be someone who could help answer that.
I believe the contractor at the time will coordinate any access issues or utility outages with the homeowners. Andy might be able to confirm that, but I believe that is how it will be handled.
Well, that is correct. Generally, our contractor also will work with the utility. They're usually geared up the best to let folks know of outages. So it'll be a combination of the contractor and then the utility that's affected. Thanks.
Thanks, Andy and Emma. We'll give it just another minute here. If you have questions, you can submit those now and we'll answer them here live. Otherwise, like I said, Emma and Steve are available after the meeting at any time. You can reach out to them using the contact information on the screen. And then also you can go to that project page at any time to find more information, to find their contact information, to find frequently asked questions, and to find a recording of this meeting. All right, I'm not seeing any more questions, so we'll go ahead and wrap up the meeting. Thank you so much to everyone who participated, who joined us tonight. Especially a big thank you to Steve and Emma for sharing some great information about this project. Oh, one more question. Kesha asks, will any of the property owners' property be taken as part of this project?
No property should be taken. We're in the right-of-way phase right now, so probably within the next few months, individual property owners will be contacted by someone at MSD if any work is going to be taking place on their property. So they'll make any agreements at that time. Like I said, I don't think we've started that yet, but at the time, the right-of-way agent will contact the individual property owners whose properties will be affected. Usually this just means getting an easement, which means we have access to the property, but once the project is done, everything gets cleared up. We're not taking the property, just getting an easement so that we can build a sewer on the property.
Thanks, Emma. I know we have Harvey Allen, who is the right-of-way agent, also on this call. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can unmute him. See. Hey, Harvey, did you have anything? Hey, Harvey, thank you so much. Anything that you want to add to Emma's answer there?
Only thing is that each individual homeowner or business owner will be, notified. And at that time, they will be given information, additional information about the project, the location of the easement and or temporary construction easement. And then there will be a discussion about compensation if due to the property owner.
Excellent. That was actually the follow-up question, whether or not owners would be compensated.
Yes.
Excellent. We'll give it just one more minute in case we get more questions. Again, you can submit those in the Q&A. So if you're not sure where to find that, wiggle your mouse or tap on the screen and then click the Q&A button and then go ahead and type those questions in there. See, will any work be completed on the south side of St. Louis Avenue? Stephen, maybe if you want to go back to the map slide.
So there are some sewer, some curb inlets that are proposed on the south side of St. Louis Avenue. Those, you know, and this, depending on where along the alignment, the main trunk sewer could be on the more southern part of the street. So depending on which side of the street you're on, depending on where the alignment is, because it does kind of, it stays on one side or the other, but it does alternate a little bit. But there is some construction on the south side, not a lot of construction on the south side of St. Louis Avenue. The majority of it is on the north side with the tie-ins of the side streets and the sewers on the side streets.
Thanks, Steve. And you know, while you're on that slide, Roy asks if you can explain what the red line on the brochure means. I'm guessing he's referring to the map.
So that's basically the limits of the project is the red line. So the sewers are not going to go all the way. So here's Eric Avenue. The project doesn't go all the way up to the end, but the houses on that street will be impacted by some of the work that's going to be going on down further closer to St. Louis Avenue. Okay, so it's not, you know, we're not going all the way up the street with the sewer and the work, but those houses up here will be impacted by what goes on down near the intersection. So that's basically what the red line is.
And then we have a question. What is the nature of that impact? You said the houses would be impacted by the work that's going on. I think if you could just explain what that means.
Yeah, so when I say impacted, I mean the nature of the impact is going to be the construction that's going on and maybe inconvenience that, you know, the actual construction is going to cause you know, some of the residents, you know, it is a major construction with large equipment and, you know, one lane at a time could be closed. So that's what I mean by impacted.
Okay, so they might experience like those lane closures on the street, or if there is, you know, an unexpected utility outage, they might experience some of that as part of the work. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and some people may have some laterals that need to be reconnected. Then again, like Emma was saying, you know, you might not be able to flush your toilet for a few hours or something while they do that type of work. So there are some impacts like that with some of the people within that red line.
Thanks, Steve. All right, I don't have any questions in the queue. So again, we'll just give it another minute. If you have questions, you can submit those. Again, just wiggle your mouse or tap on the screen and then click the Q&A button in the menu. I think for most folks, that menu shows up at the bottom of the screen. It might show up at the top of your screen though. But yeah, just hit Q&A and then you can submit those questions. If you have other questions after this meeting or throughout the project, you can reach out to Emma or Stephen at any time. or you can go to the project page, msdprojectclear.org/Harlem Baden 4 to find more information there as well. All right, once again, not seeing any more questions. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Again, thank you so much for everyone. Oh, I'm gonna get trigger shy with this. We got another question. Okay, it says, if during construction, if there is a resident that has a complaint, who will they call then?
So we should have a construction inspector at least visiting the project. I believe they go out once a day. So that would be the best person to contact at the time. Right now, I think a letter's been sent out to most of the residents in the area that has my contact information on it. If need be, they can always get a hold of me and I can put you in touch with the right person to talk to as well.
Thanks, Emma. That's a good time to reiterate. So, right now construction isn't scheduled to begin for a while, and we will be reaching out to this community before construction begins. We'll have a new project manager, Andy, who answered one of those questions earlier. He'll be participating in any of the outreach that we do, and we'll make sure that you get his contact information. Like Emma said, there will also be a field inspector who will be on site for at least part of the day, every day that we're doing construction. And we'll make sure that you have that person's contact information as well. So if you have any issues during construction, you can reach out to anyone on the project team, and we'll make sure that gets resolved for you. All right. It sounds like that should do it for our questions tonight. Once again, feel free to reach out to any of the folks on this call at any time if you have additional questions. Oh, Kesha says she has one more question she's going to submit. Give it just one more second. All right, I think I'm getting teased now. So we will go ahead and wrap this up. Again, thank you everyone for participating. Huge thank you to Emma and Steve for sharing some great information on this project. And again, find more information at any time on that webpage, msdprojectclear.org/Harlem Baden 4. Otherwise, we look forward to making some improvements in your neighborhood. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.